The market will tell us if our position works. That's what a CEO told me. A year and millions of dollars later, the market told them no. Today, I'll show you how to test your position before the market does. Welcome back to day 22 of 30 days of positioning mastery. Today, we're talking about position testing. Validate before you bet. We've spent 3 weeks crafting the perfect position. But here's what most people miss. Even perfect positions can fail if they don't resonate with your market. Let me show you how to validate your position before betting the farm on it. Let's start with 3 ways positions typically fail. Number 1, market misalignment. The position makes sense to you, but means nothing to your market. Like launching a sustainable luxury product to people who just want affordable basics. Number 2, the execution gap. You have a great position, but your company can't deliver on it. Like promising instant delivery when your operations can barely handle same day. And then number 3, resonance failure. The position is logical, but doesn't hit emotional triggers. Like positioning advanced AI as efficient when people care about feeling empowered. Now, all 3 are expensive lessons you could have learned before launch. So let's look at the testing framework, which allows you to hunt your assumptions before betting big. Let's start with stage 1, internal testing. Can your team explain it simply? Does it drive clear decisions? Can you actually deliver on it? Now, stage 2, small market tests. You could run micro campaigns, test messaging variants, and gather direct feedback. Stage 3, you could do controlled rollouts. Start with small segments, measure resonance metrics, and adjust before scaling. The key here is to test cheap, test fast, and test early. Here are some testing methods that work at different budget levels. So let's say you have 0 budget to test. You could do one-on-one customer conversations. You could do online community feedback, social media response testing, A/B test email subject lines. But let's say, you have a budget of 500 to 5,000. You could run targeted social ads with variants. You could do small survey panels. You could do a landing page test. You could do some paid search experiments. And then let's say you have bigger budgets for testing. You could do focus groups. You could do market research panels. You could do multi-channel campaigns. You could even hire professional testing firms. The key isn't how much you spend. It's about testing the right things. Speaking of which, what do you actually test? And here's what to measure. Number 1, comprehension. Can people explain your position back to you? Do they get it immediately or need explanation? Does it make intuitive sense? Number 2, resonance. Does it trigger an emotional response? Do people share it unprompted? Does it spark conversations? Number 3, relevant differentiation. Does it stand out from competitors? Is it memorable? Does it feel unique? Now, let's take a look at some common testing mistakes or traps people fall into. Number 1, the echo chamber. Only testing with fans and ignoring negative feedback, surrounding yourself with yes people. The analysis paralysis, testing forever, seeking perfect data, and never pulling the trigger. Number 3, asking the wrong questions. My favorite one is asking, do you like it? And then testing features, not position. Focusing on logic, not emotion. Tomorrow, we'll talk about internal alignment. But today, start testing your position because the market will test it eventually. The only question is whether you'll be ready. Remember that CEO? A year and millions later, they finally tested what they should have tested on day 1. Now, you don't have to make that mistake. Share below, how could you test your position this week? What feedback could you gather right now? What assumptions should you validate? Remember, the market always tests your position. Better you test it first.